accurate the first images of everybody on their phones on transit was. Everybody heads down, the screen lighting up their face. And it was a great diving off point to kind of ground us in a very real feeling sense before some of the flickering lighting and more darkness came in, and the surreal physical explorations of technology's manipulations of our brains occurred. It was almost like some of them were under an alien possession, and technology was this looming spaceship coming down. The movements of when people seemed like they were short-circuiting was all of my fears of having my phone in my hand all the time, that I will become a cyborg. But brilliant choreography, and the dancers just had this wonderful, nuanced commitment to that exploration.
First, a great title. I think that should be first pointed out before anything else. And is a really good representation of what interpretive dance can do as far as societal commentary. Because this piece is obviously very topical to what is going on in modern day, which is our kind of disassociation from ourselves and others due to our preoccupation with technology. And we see that beautifully interpreted through the spastic kind of movements that predominate a lot of the dance moves featured in this. And the settings are, of course, perfect too, because one of the best locations where we are unified collectively together, but also separated kind of emotionally and psychologically, is on places like subways. So I thought that was a great locale to use. Overall, it's a very well done short film devoted to dance. It really gets its thematic point across, not only in its specific dance movements, but also in its visuals as well.
If there is a word that Klaus Diersmann and I can probably agree on, it is assimilation. The creepy and poignant look at how society is not only engrossed but mesmerized, and in fact just led by technologies and monitors and screens. It was very artistic, very craftedly choreographed by Pepe Ubera, and beautifully cinematographed by Beatrice Saster. And I also really appreciated the hypnotic charm of the music by Alexandra Hamilton Ayres. The thing that caught my attention the most, though, was how perfect society seemed to look, even while everybody was plugged in. I couldn't help but notice that the subway station, the subway itself, was in pristine order. Even the glass behind in the subway was seemingly free of all fingerprints. And I wonder if that was intentional, if that was that society has now been so conditioned that they don't even touch anything but their own phones. So a very eerie and poignant look, and I love the image of the camera lens replacing the eyeball. Very memorable.
Really clever. I really like the eerie movements of the performers, that they all were synchronized and unique in their movements at the same time. It was like they were all struggling to find their common heartbeat. I thought this piece was perfect at conveying how deeply people get pulled into their phone.
I thought this one was really cool. It definitely had this very cinematic quality to it. I loved a lot of the stylized color and the shots, and just the way it all came together was really interesting. And there was motivated camera movement, which I really enjoyed. It wasn't just all over the place. Those tense close-up moments where it just, was slowly dolling in. I thought it was just really well done.
I thought that this was a really interesting take on on social media in general and how attached we are to our phones and kind of the culture that's come out from that. I thought that it was just really interesting how it kind of got built and built and built and built with all these different layers that got added and added and added. I really, really enjoyed it. It was really nice to watch the progression of it all.
Almost felt like a thriller with the jerky movements and the total fixation on technology and disconnect from reality. The creativity in this was great. In particular, I really enjoyed the scenes where they were in the greenhouse amongst all of this beautiful nature, and they were without their technology, but yet they were still disconnected, and they were playing on like a phantom phone. I just thought it was a really creative think piece on how tech can really suck us into this vortex where our brains are really stimulated and we're living in this very colorful, textured world, but it's all virtual reality, and our outside world, which does have all of this beautiful stimuli, is just being completely ignored, and our outside world is completely void because we're just standing there like zombies and gathering all of our information from a screen. Just very surreal. And I think that the part that made it feel a bit thriller-like and scary was honestly how close to home it hits, right? Like this isn't something that we don't see every day. This is part of our reality. It left a lot to think on.
Very timely and important piece. The way that we see these characters moving through spaces, yet doing the exact same thing, really, like tells the story of the world that we live in today. Like, no matter where we go, we're probably going to be on our phones. And the music in the background is almost haunting. And their movement matches that. It's like very eerie, and it just like captures your attention. And I think it works very well, and I really enjoyed this piece, and I think it was very strong.